what we'll probably do is we'll take the soil and go around here and we'll make like a reservoir around with the soil, and then with the mulch to kind of hold the water in. Because I have to keep the water probably once every other day or a couple times a week. It depends on how much it rains and things. And usually I don't recommend to put fertilizer on it to the next year after it starts to get established, because the tree right now the roots are starting to grow, and sometimes you can the fertilizer will wash in if you get a lot of rains, and it'll burn the tree. And nothing we like to do is kind of stake it. We'll take the post and we'll stake it and keep it from the winds blowing. Like we had those strong winds there a couple weeks ago. And what it'll do, it'll break the roots off, or sometimes I've seen them, I don't know about this tree, but some trees I've seen them pop from right out of the ground.
As Munson was saying, when you bury a tree too deep, it does can rot away the trunk. It also can suffocate the root systems. The roots are kind of multifunctional. If you wanted to compare it to an animal or a human, it's the lungs, it's the mouth. It gets nourishment from the ground, and so that the roots are pretty critically important.
Arbor Day is an observance and celebration to promote tree planting and care of trees as a symbol of life. In 1854, J. Sterling Morton, a journalist, moved from Detroit, Michigan, with his wife Carolyn, to the plainless tree plains of Nebraska City. And they started right away to plant trees, shrubs, and flowers. J. Sterling Morton established and became editor of the first newspaper in Nebraska City. And from that platform, he started promoting the planting, and he urged fellow pioneers to plant trees and fruit. Trees as windbreaks and for fuel, and trees for building materials and for shade, and fruit to eat. In 1872, the Nebraska Board of Agriculture accepted a resolution by J. Sterling Morton to set aside a day to plant forest and fruit trees. They set April 10th as the first Arbor Day in that state. They offered prizes and gifts to communities who planted trees. And on that day, in 1872, over 1 million trees were planted in that state. And they've been planting more ever since. By 1920, there were 45 states in the Union that celebrated Arbor Day. Today, all the states in the Union and their territories celebrate Arbor Day. And it's celebrated in many areas around the universe. I don't know if you know it or not, but Dr. Emmanuel Macron from France, who came to visit the president this week, brought an oak tree from France to be planted on the White House lawn. And that was done this week. If we had to get permission from Congress to plant that tree, it may never get planted. J. Sterling Morton, the founder of Arbor Day. I'm going to quote, "Arbor Day, which has already transplanted itself to every state in the American Union and has even been adapted in foreign lands, is not like other holidays. Each of those proposes of the past, while Arbor Day proposes for the future." Unquote. Quote again, "How much more enduring are the animate trees of our planting? They grow and self-perpetuate themselves and shed years yearly blessings on our race, unquote. Another J. Sterling Morton quote. Each generation takes the earth as trustees. We ought to bequeath to posterity as many forests and orchards as we have exhausted and consumed. In other words, if you take a tree down, plant one in its place. Thank you.
Thanks, John.
What is Tree City USA? The Tree City USA program has been greening up cities and towns across America since 1976. It is a nationwide movement that provides the framework necessary for communities to manage and expand their public trees. More than 3,400 communities have made the commitment to become a Tree City USA. They have achieved Tree City USA status by meeting 4 core standards of sound urban forestry management, and they are maintaining a tree board or department, having a community tree ordinance, spending at least $2 per capita on urban forestry, and celebrating Arbor Day. Now, generally, they send a flag. Did anybody get that flag? Without Matt here.
Matt
I
got
believe
it.
we do have the flag.
Yeah.
Matt got it.
Well, it's a
Matt's
big
gone.
white flag, Tree City USA.
I think we have it over at the rec center, actually.
We must have 30 of them.
Oh, I'm sure.
Really?
Yeah.
I'm sure.
Every year we get the
Get
flag.
one.
Yeah. So that's about it for what Tree City USA.
How many years has it been?
I was trying to think. Do you know, John?
25.
Is it 25?
years.
Yep.
Okay, 25. Wow.
You probably have 25 flags.
Yeah.
Yes, we would. We would. Should have a garage sale and sell those.
It turned out, and especially the garden club members. We have the president, Darlene Liscombe. We have Penny Kierfin, Ann Groom, Fran Nacarado, Lynn Griffin, Kathy Wade. We have Martha Valley. Somebody else. Glory is a member of the garden club. As a spokesman, I just want to say, did I miss somebody? No. Anyway, I really enjoy having people come out and get involved in something like this. We need to honor our city. We have a lot of chance to celebrate 150 years. That's great. The garden club is busy getting plants ready for planting in our gardens, our 6 gardens. I hope you'll all visit those. There's one at the Arterial, Library, Agarwal down by Dubisky Center, Kids Place, and the gazebo, and then there's 2 small beds down at the end of Ford Street. So we have a lot of volunteers. We need volunteers to work in our gardens, but we're busy getting ready for that. But I really appreciate the work that Matt is able to do to help us get those on docket. So thanks for coming, everybody, and thank you.
Down to Syracuse to Northern Nurseries, well, actually Cicero, last Friday. Picked up the tree, and when we brought it back, the root ball was probably about this wide and about this tall. It had to weigh a good probably 400 or 500 pounds easy. That little tree, there's a whole lot of weight to it. But we unloaded it with the loader. Of course, you know, as all things go, trying to make it look pretty. Had a little snafu with the loader. Scraped up a little bit of the bark there, but we used some tree seal and sealed that back up. So as Don said, it shouldn't really be a problem. But
It'll eventually, Calvin.
yep, and now it's just, you know, finish the planting, get it staked, keep it watered, and take good care of it.
That's the important thing.
Oh, sure. It'll keep you occupied. I said, don't touch her. I had to go open it.